Good day. I'm Shikha Vyas-Doorgapersad. I'm a professor in the School of Public Management, Governance and Public Policy in the College of Business and Economics at University of Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm going to talk about challenges that hamper water infrastructure development in African context. The UN published an assessment report in 2015 about the progress of Millennium Development Goals, and the Goal 7 Schedule 2 said that although 1 million people have access to improved sanitation, the world failed to meet the Millennium Development Goal target. Through the review of UN Water 2015 documents, it is stated that thematically, broader framework of sanitation and supply is called for in Development Agenda post 2015. After further review of UN Water 2015, there is a recommendation that dedicated SDG 6 to water must be established. That has 5 target areas, include water resources, water governance, waste management, water quality, and water-related disasters. Clean and adequate water is a scarce resource in the world, and in African context, the situation is more dire. The infrastructure is under severe pressure, and there are various factors causing destruction. These challenges range from there is a migration from rural to urban areas, climate change, natural disaster, limited financial capacity, skills, and human resource challenges. As a result, governments across Africa struggle to meet their mandates to provide clean water. The rationale for the article is to understand that there is a need to establish public-private partnership to improve water infrastructure in African context. And it is aimed to unpack why PPPs can be considered as an alternate to improve water infrastructure. The study discusses research methodology and provide recommendations. And it proposes that PPP can be considered as an alternative to improve water infrastructure as a paradigm shift in the field of public administration. The study is qualitative because it does not deal with statistics or numbers. Rather, it seeks to develop an in-depth understanding of the social phenomena. It is exploratory and it investigates the old subject from a very new perspective. Exploratory research focuses on what aspects? So the question asked in this study are, what are the challenges in water infrastructure development in Africa? And what are the advantages of using PPPs to improve water infrastructure? The information is compiled by literature review where the documents were studied and information is compiled exploring the water-related challenges. And it is a desktop qualitative analysis. The results and discussion explore that there is shortage of water, and it is because of that there are such diseases, typhoid and cholera and diarrhea actually emerge, and water sector reforms are required to deal with such challenges. The limited water delivery is often questionable due to lack of water plants, there is electricity blackout, there is an unavailability of spare parts for pumps and other equipments that compound the problem. Water disposal and supply are characterized by low relevant service deliveries, high water transmission, poor maintenance of system, low revenue, weak water infrastructure, and sewerage networks. Rapid urbanization continues to pose challenges towards sustainability in developing countries. High population is one of the social variables that contributes to problem with water infrastructure. Urban regions are overpopulated. There are lots of slums that have less access to water. They have poor sanitation and water management. So African countries are using their yearly public spending to deal with water infrastructure issues. And this makes it very challenging to create the required urban water infrastructure to fulfill the demands when there is limited financial resources. Water security already a major challenge due to increased water demand. There are damages to infrastructure, property, and asset due to the natural disasters, crop failure, instability due to climate change, all contribute towards the challenges. Politics is one of several variables that contribute to water shortage. There is an increase in conflict over the availability of water. And the main issue is that everyone involved may have different ideas about how to improve the quality of infrastructure, and different ideas cause tension. Corruption, where our leaders are ineffective in taking proper decisions and using financial resources. Due to continent's lack of unity, also the water issue and infrastructure issues persist. Other challenges include lack of infrastructure, investment money to create and maintain water infrastructure, inefficient processes for allocating resources, insufficient managerial capacity, poor governance, inadequate institutional frameworks, corruption, resource mismanagement, prevalence of unemployment, poverty, financial inactivity make it difficult for governments in the area to collect domestic revenue to maintain the infrastructure. So the use of PPPs can be considered as an alternative solution. And this is not a new concept. It can go back to 1959 when it was implemented in Cote d'Ivoire. And that was successfully implemented. And today it offers water to over 7 million people daily. In the many decades since the very first PPP was launched, actually, political realities have changed. It is proved to be an important tool in improving utility performance, leveraging finance, stimulating a much needed sense of accountability. It may develop investments in African governments. It can be implemented. It can improve infrastructure while also generating jobs to eliminate poverty through water infrastructure projects. Several African governments are unable to offer investments in this particular sector. So PPP could be an answer since private partners can provide resources. Several investigations of PPP indicate there is a high efficiency advantages. PPP has been found to reduce construction time in many African countries like Benin, Burkina Faso, Mali, Mozambique. And in contrast to government-managed water supply projects that can go over budget and fall behind schedule, PPP has been found to reduce these issues. It can be considered that PPP arrangement can work in Africa. It can provide technical expertise, financial support, technological competencies. In conclusion, African nations may increase investment in different ways. They must first make sure that they have investors-based information, and they must be able to analyze any risk and reward. Last but not least, they must make sure that their policies will create a climate that will make investments in urban water infrastructure very lucrative. African governments require resources such as talent management, and in today's time, they need to have an understanding and capability of dealing with fourth industrial revolution. To handle technological aspect, they need finances to upgrade infrastructure. They need technical competence to monitor different phases of the infrastructure challenges. However, due to inadequate competence skills, PPPs can struggle to collaborate with governments. So PPPs may bring appropriate solutions, working effectively with government dealing with the identified challenges. The arrangement requires government and PPPs to sign a contract and have a clear understanding of roles and responsibilities that are shared for mutual benefit. Experts in the field of water study, engineers, construction people need to be part. There is a need to conduct feasibility studies, needs analysis to get an understanding of the environment in a particular area, and to avoid corrupt practices. African governments need monitoring and evaluation practices and good governance principles. Boards keeping record of all costs and expenses must be in place, and they must submit tax annually. They must award tenders through particular procurement processes. The interviews with relevant stakeholders in the water bodies, Ministry of Water, water directorates, local municipalities would have added more value to the study. This is a lack of information that will be covered in the future studies. Future studies may consider interviews in selected countries as part of a longitudinal comparative study, contributing to the field of public management and water studies. Thank you.